Hey guys, my teeth are very sensitive this morning. Um, Sorry I've been so late today. First, last night I went to sleep at like 3. Mostly because of something that I'll show you in a little bit. And I've been working on this video that I plan to come out before the end of the year, and I edited like the first 2 minutes of it. It's about a 10-minute video, and then I got bored, and then I got into bed, and then I didn't go to sleep for a little while. So I ended up sleeping around like 3, and then I slept in this morning, and yeah, so I got 8 hours of sleep probably. I think it was more like 3:30 when I fell asleep, but I did sleep in. I think about 8 hours. I did sleep in, because of that, and then I like delayed the stream till 11:45, and then I had and then I had to get ready, and then I had stuff to do, so I should have just delayed it to 12, honestly, but I started the stream, and then it's been like 15 minutes since my stream ended. So yeah, I kind of just did not plan accordingly this morning or last night, but no, I was just hoping that I would wake up. Like, I have a bunch of alarms trying to wake me up by that point, but I didn't. Like, one of them woke me up. I woke up like once or twice, and then I fell asleep again, and then the alarms did not continue to keep me awake or wake me up. But yeah, what I want to show you guys is my Christmas gifts. 2 in particular. These are like the only ones I actually got besides money. But I want to show you 2 Christmas gifts in particular. One of them is this thing right here. This is a knife, right? And you'll be confused, like, why do you have a knife? I'm not killing anybody. Don't demonetize me, YouTube. But when you open the knife, it might look a little familiar to some of you, especially when you look at that. This is a custom-made primal knife from Resident Evil 4 that my girlfriend got me for Christmas. And it actually is very accurate. I'm going to show you guys what the primal knife actually looks like, just in case you don't know. Primal knife RE4. I think it's the primal knife, unless it's just the regular one. No, it's the primal knife. Yeah, so it's... I need to zoom in on this more. That's basically what I got. I just found like a picture of somebody having it. I think technically the Raccoon City logo's on the wrong side, but hey, I don't care. I wouldn't have noticed if I didn't look at this. So it's like there's 2 big knives in RE4. There's the Krauser knife, which is the same one from the original RE4, and then there's the primal knife, which is this one. And you can see right here what it looks like, and then you compare it to, how do I compare this? Like, I guess just show it like this, kind of, I guess, and then yeah, so it's that knife, the one on the left, the top. Is it sharp? Well, it is real metal, so it has potential to be sharp. It is kind of dull, but I think that's just because, like, they weren't trying... It's not meant to be, like, an actual weapon. It's just, like, a display thing. Bye, blah. Other thing I got was from her parents, which is this. Invincible Compendium 3. I have started reading it. I've read 6 issues now, maybe? Something like that. Hold on. I'm on issue 103, and it starts at 8, 9, 100, 101, 102. Wait, what am I doing? 798, 99, 100, 101, 102. I've read 6, yeah. Shopping for makeup online. Nice. Put a bow on your head? No. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I got for Christmas, and I really like it. I keep like walking around, just standing in my room, just like just like being like Leon, like his heavy attacks in the remake, or his like jab attacks, like and then in the original he just stands like this. Yeah, I'm just pretending to be Leon. It was suggested to me by Evan Agradano. I showed him this, and he was like, "You should do a Leon cosplay for Halloween next year." And I'm like, you know what? It's actually kind of a fire idea. Anyway, so today's stream is not going to be too long. Probably only going to be like 2-3 hours max. But like, I'm basically just doing this stream because I was gonna do this all on Monday, I think it was. When was the last time I streamed? I think it was Monday. And I was going to, and then there was like cleaning and stuff happening in my house, and it didn't really. Things went wrong, so there was a lot of background noise. So I was like, I'll just do it another day. So I only reacted to one of the 3 theories that I wanted to. Excuse me. Anyway. So yeah, today I'll be reacting to 2 theories. I want to watch the Sire Squawks video, but I won't be doing that this stream probably, depending on the timing at least. But yeah, I do want to do that, maybe for a future theory reaction, for that theory reaction stream. Tomorrow, I'm going to be doing FNaF 4. Which I'm not excited for at all. Continuing the FNaF marathon. When did I do FNaF 3? I feel like it was kind of a while ago. It wasn't that long ago, but like FNaF 3 was December 18th, so 8 days ago. FNaF 1 and 2 were the 16th, FNaF 3 is the 18th, and then FNaF 4 will be the 27th. Kind of a big jump, but whatever. Are you still going in blind? What, to FNaF 4 or to the theories? The theories, yes. FNaF 4, no, I've seen much of FNaF 4. Matter of fact, I've seen everything of FNaF 4. I think there's a song about that Andrew guy. And yeah, on Sunday, I'm probably going to be doing a Resident Evil 5 stream, like doing co-op with Evan. We want to do the DLCs because we were going to do that like a year and a half ago when we did the first RE5 co-op streams, and then we never got around to it. So, how long ago was that? Feels like a really long time ago. It was October last year, so just like 14 months ago. So we never did the DLCs, which is what we want to do. So that'll be on Sunday. Excuse me. See, I'm having problem with my ear now. Like, just as of last night, it just randomly started. Where I have, like, this problem where it feels like it's clogged at all times. Like, you know when you, like, inhale too much and your eye or your ears get clogged? It's like that, but constantly. And I don't know if it's, like, earwax blockage or if it's, like, these headphones are crushing my ears and putting them in weird positions, or if I have like an ear infection or whatever. I don't know how ear infections feel, so I wouldn't know. Probably not that though. Or if it's just like a random just today thing, and last night thing. But yeah, I've been experiencing that, and I don't really know what the problem is. I was trying to like I know Q-tips are the problem. I've been trying to like get them in there like very carefully and just like see if I could get rid of some of the like clogged up earwax. Didn't work. I mean, I got a tiny bit out, but it didn't like fix the blockage. So I don't know if I just either didn't get enough, or if that's not the problem. I have no idea. So yeah, I might need to go to the doctor or buy one of those like camera things that you just shove in your ears and then you pull everything out. Those things are kind of satisfying. I might want to get one of those. Either way, something wrong with my ears. So, today we are reacting to two different theory videos, both by FNaF. One thing I will say, I've been noticing, like, my theory reaction videos getting less views, and I don't know if it's because I record them on live streams where a lot of people already watch them, or if it's because it's, like, that people don't really care about game theory, or if it's just because these two theories in particular were kind of not popular. I don't know, but, I'm gonna release this FNaF theory, like, both these FNaF theories as, YouTube videos, and if it doesn't actually work very well, then I might stop doing that. Like, I might stop turning, like if these videos don't get very many views, I might stop turning them into videos. But we'll see. I don't know yet. Just because, like, that's how the algorithm works. I've never been good with the algorithm, but I know it doesn't really favor my channel, or at least I'm not good at figuring out how to make it favor my channel. So I feel like I should do whatever it takes to, like, fix that. To be fair, though, that's largely because I do non-FNaF streams, which is why I've been doing so many FNaF ones recently. But yeah, if those videos don't get very many views, it might be more beneficial to do different ones. So. I think it's because of game and film theory not being as liked as they used to be. I mean, it might be a collection of all of them. Like, it might be that people don't like game theory anymore and film theory because it's not MapHat. Like, it might be that. It might be partially that. It might also be partially that I do them on stream, so some people already see them, and they're like, oh, I can just watch that stream if I want to find out what his reaction was, right? So, like, it might be kind of both a little bit. But yeah, I mean, obviously I shouldn't really be relying on reaction videos for, like, views. That's not really why I do them. I just do them because, like, if I do them on a stream, it doesn't, like, usually streams don't get the same traction as just actual videos, which is why I transform them into videos. But yeah, I don't know. It might just, I think it might just be, like, doing, what's it called? Like editing down streams and turning them into videos. Sometimes they don't do very well. Sometimes they do, though. Like FNaF gameplay videos never really do the greatest on my channel anyway. But, like, Secret of the Mimic, I think, did decently well. Let me check. Where is Secret of the Mimic? How well did Ruin do? I think Ruin did really well. The stream got 4,000 views, and then the videos almost all got over 1,000. Part 2 only got like 600. Part 5 got like 800, and the rest got over, and the other 3 got over 1,000. Which for gameplay videos, that's pretty good. Usually they don't do that well. But for Secret of the Mimic, what did that do? How well did that do? I mean, Secret of the Mimic, I think it was 8 videos. 500, 800, 300, 300, 200, 400, almost 300, 200, 350, and then about 300. So yeah, it didn't do as good. So I'm wondering if that's because the algorithm is declining for my channel, or if it's like, or if it's just that over time I'm becoming more known for theories and less known for gameplay. I don't know. I used to do gameplay a lot more and not theories at all. I've actually gone back and archived a lot of my videos and like put the I've removed them from my main channel, and well, I keep them on my main channel, but like I changed the, what's it called? I put them in a playlist called The Archive. That's what I did. I was trying to figure out what the words were that I was trying to find. But yeah, I think I got rid of like 500 videos that are 425. And they're now in the archive. So like it used to say, Impulse 7, 18.1k subscribers, 2,000 videos. Now it says 1.5 thousand videos, which is a big difference. You still have the stream bookmarked? I have it, well, I mean, I have it bookmarked through the fact that it's my most viewed stream. But yeah, basically the videos that I archived were kind of like the ones that I didn't think represented me as much anymore, and like what I wanted my channel to be. There's a lot more that I didn't, that also don't represent me, and I think I probably will go back and do more. But I just wanted to stick with the important ones now, because I feel like if people open my channel and they're like, oh hey, what's his most viewed video? And then it's like a FNaF song edit, they'll be like, oh okay, so that's what he does. And then the rest of the videos are all like theory videos, right? So I've changed it. Now my fourth closet graphic novel video with like 50,000 views is my most viewed. My most viewed public one. Habermania is actually second. So like, yeah, I don't have like the stuff that I don't really do on my channel anymore. I've removed that. I've put that in the archive. I kind of miss the days of like Fazbear Frights and Tales, because that was like the peak of my specifically Tales was like the peak of my channel in terms of views. 2023 was actually like the best I've ever done on my channel. I'll actually go back. That period in my channel was like the most success of it that I've ever had. If I scroll all the way down to 2023. To start, theories did okay. My Patient 46 video, 8,000 views, was pretty good. This was like a start of a 3-part series on theories specifically, so it's like I think all of them did pretty well. Patient 46, Vanessa theory, the Ballora theory, or no, the Remnant theory, the Ballora theory, and the Afton theory. I think all of them were part of like one 5-part series. And all of them did really well. Especially the Remnant one. The Remnant one got like almost 18,000 views. What else? Character Encyclopedia videos did really well. Crying Child's Name, like with the Garrett thing, did really well. Character Encyclopedia. Both Character Encyclopedia videos did really well. But my most viewed videos of that year were the Bite Victim Name one, the Michael Afton Identity one, all of the Tales like summaries. Those all did really well. Even the game theory reactions, like the timeline ones, those were really well, or not well received, but they got a lot of views because just like they were really they were really big at the time, right? So a lot of people wanted to see them. So like my reaction to The Rise of Afton got like 11,000. So, but also 35 dislikes. But but that's to be expected when you disagree so heavily. But yeah, tale summaries were like really good. But the biggest thing that did well for me, my timelines did really well. Like my timeline theories and my full narrative timeline, they did really well, which is one reason I'm gonna do another one, because I've done like 5 of them at this point, but I'm gonna do another one just because my beliefs so constantly change, right? I think it's just every 2 years I just got to do a new FNaF timeline. Although to be fair, I did one a year after this one, but. My Mimic and Gregory bot theory did well. And the Tiger Rock summaries did really well. Maybe because it was like before the book actually came out, because I got it like a couple weeks early. And then right after Tales book 7, I did a 5-part theory series dedicated to, like, right before Ruin came out. 5-part theory series, all relating in some way to Fredbear's Family Diner, and like FNaF 4 and stuff. So the first one was FNaF Ever a Dream? Second one, how Lally's game answers what's inside the box. Third one, the Fredbear plushie. Fourth one, FNaF 6 being Fredbear's, and fifth one, FNaF 6 failing. Pretty much all of those I still kind of stand by. Like I haven't really changed my beliefs on those things specifically very much. But those all did really well, and then Ruin came out immediately after that, and then all my Ruin videos did really well too. So, is Andrew going to be in your timeline? You're damn right it is. Anyway. We got a couple FNaF videos to watch. We have Did FNaF 2 solve the FNaF timeline, and the big twist of FNAF's sister location. My FNaF 2 movie video just came out too as well, right? I said 2 and as well at the same time. Yeah, it came out yesterday. 1,600, not bad. One single dislike. I'll find him. Okay, I got a comment that just said, like, do you have an alternative form of communication? That's one thing that I feel like I'm not very good with. Like, when people try to talk to me, like, outside of YouTube comments, or just in general, when people try to talk to me, if it's not a stream and people try to talk to me, I have trouble with that stuff, because I balance a lot of things at once. I balance reading comic books, doing YouTube, streaming and making and editing videos, which are both take a long time. I have a girlfriend. I have university. And I have a job. So, doing all those things at once, it gives me very limited time to actually talk to people outside of, like, YouTube, because I should usually be. Did I say reading comics? I don't know if I did, but I read comics. That might have been my first point. I don't remember. Anyway, that gives me very limited time, because usually if I'm home, I should be editing a video, because I almost always have one to edit, and I don't do it for some reason. Like I get very distracted. So, like, when people ask like to talk to me on Discord or something, like if somebody friends me on Discord, I'll accept it, and then they try to talk to me on Discord, and I'm like, I don't know, man. And it's not like I think you guys are beneath me. I do not. I'm just like you guys, but like, I just struggle to actually find time to, which is why I'm starting to do FNaF theory like streams instead of just watching them on my own. I think watching them on stream is much better because I like streaming and I like watching FNaF theories, but I never have time to watch FNaF theories, and usually I stream games. So I think doing both at the same time, streaming FNaF theories, that's better, I think. So I feel like I might actually do this more often. Cassidy doesn't exist. Sorry. Sorry. My bad. People are debating that. People are seriously debating that. Yeah. I don't know why. Because it was a big find in the logbook that was later confirmed in the fourth closet. And Scott, when he was talking about his movie screenplays, said that the Cassidy screenplay was not only the most game accurate, but also the most lore important. Like the fact that she could have an entire movie dedicated to her spanning decades makes it like she's definitely important. I think Evan liked the Christmas album. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even listen to it yet. Okay, I've listened to a couple of them, but like I haven't gone out of my way to sit down and listen to all of them yet. I want to, because I mean I'm friends with a lot of people that actually made it. But I was thinking about making my own, but like my own song for it, but I didn't end up doing that. But like I think I do want to watch that, but like I just don't have the time for it. Lore important because she's the one you should have killed. Well, I want to make a whole video like dedicated to why Cassidy was important. I think I had that idea for a video a long time ago, and then I ended up scrapping it because I didn't really know how to do it. Did I include that in my scrapped content video? I might have. Speaking of which, I need to do another one of that because there's been a lot more since then. Where's Cassidy? No, this is just in my not sure if or when category. Yeah. I think I will do that. Excuse me. I think I will do that at some point. I'm going to move that up. Excuse me. To the FNaF theories. Or I might just combine it with a future theory I have. I have a whole theory that I want to make on Cassidy and like Princess Quest and like talking about whether she is the princess or not, and what it kind of affects if she is. But I haven't done that yet. But I plan on doing that maybe like next month or something. But I might just combine it with that. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Yeah, I think that makes more sense. I'm just gonna do that. Italicize it. Do you believe in Cassidy Princess? I do, yes. I know you don't, though. You know what I want to check? I want to look back. There's this video that I made a long time ago. It was called FNaF's Original Story Solved. And it did pretty well. Yeah, it did 16,000 views. How long ago was this? It was April 20th, 2023. Was this before or after I started putting more effort into my videos? Before. So, I feel like... Okay, the thing is, I have mentioned in the past that my FNaF timeline... Or sorry, not my FNaF timeline. My FNaF marathon is leading up to me making theories on each of the games. One theory for the first 4 games, Silverize and FNaF World. One for Sister Location, the Twisted Ones, and FNaF 6. One for the Survival Logbook, the Fourth Closet, and Ultimate Custom Night. One for FNaF VR, AR, Frights, and Security Breach. One for Ruin, Tales, Help Wanted 2. One for the interactive novels, and Secret of the Mimic. So those will all be individual videos. Not every single piece of media, but like those ones collectively, the multiple will be collected in each video. The thing is, the first one, which is on the first 4 games, Silverize and FNaF World, that's just what this video was. The FNaF Original Story Solved one. There's not really any difference. That's exactly what I did for that video. That video was solving FNaF as it was meant to be in the first 4 games with help or with FNaF World and in the book. That's what that was. So I'm wondering, like, do I re-record? Do I use that same script and make a few changes, or do I make a brand new one? I feel like I use the same one because it's like none of my opinions have really changed on that. I just feel like I could write it a little bit better nowadays, like just here and there change a couple things. I think that makes more sense. And again, it's the same thing. It's the same content. So I might just remake that video, edit around the script a little bit, just a little bit, and then kind of like just edit around some things in the script, re-edit it, re-record it, re-edit it completely because the editing in this video was not great. It was how I used to edit my videos. And then I just basically do the same content. Basically, like the same actual theory. This was back in 2023. It was April 20th, 2023. So it was before I started like putting more effort into my videos, and it's not like I like edit them professionally. I just do it like okay. But yeah. You still remember the crazy drop of the Hellboy 2 trailer because it was even before Security Breach release? Yeah. I did not expect that. I think I was watching the stream. Was I streaming or was I just... No, I was streaming. I remember. Let me actually find the stream. Probably be closer to the oldest. Was I streaming? Hold on. Maybe I wasn't streaming. No, I think I was just recording while I was reacting to that stream. Yeah, I think I was just watching the event, whatever it was. I don't know if it was a state of play or a showcase or like Gamescom. I don't think it was Gamescom, but whatever it was, I was watching it while recording myself, just in case something popped up. Spider-Man and FNaF popped up. I think FNaF popped up first, and I was like, holy shit. So then, like, as I was watching in the background, I just had my editing software open, and I was turning it into a video. But yeah, that was... I really did not expect that. Was that video where I was like making weird faces into the camera? I was like, I was trying to be The Rock, and then all of a sudden, help wanted to. No, not my friends playing it. Show all. See, the thing is, I love how 2023 impacted my channel. It was a great year for my channel. It did really, really well for my channel. Problem is, my hair looked like shit back then. It doesn't look great now. It's hard to fix sometimes, but it's better than it was. Like my hair back then looked like this. Still a middle part, but a shittier middle part. And yeah, so I was just making weird faces into my camera while watching the stream when all of a sudden, just
welcome back for another week of career development and minimal social interaction.
Well, why am I making these faces? I'm like, sorry, ear. Oh, hey. Boag, Merry Christmas. Hope you had a good one. Merry Christmas to you guys, too. You specifically, because you gave me money. Thank you, I appreciate that. How much actually is that? I can't tell. $1.50. Cool. Thank you. Yes, I hope you guys all I hope you guys all had a good Christmas. I did. I got a knife and a book. So, a knife from Resident Evil and a book that I wanted to get for the past little while, so yeah, like I said, I started reading it. I've read the first 2 full compendiums, and then I'm gonna finish reading it, and I'm gonna read this one soon. Speaking of which, how's my poll from yesterday doing? I know not many votes are on it because it's not a FNaF related one, and people don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, 66 votes. Invincible Universe is winning at the moment. Makes sense. Tech Jacket, Sounding Wolfman, and Brit. Sounds just like people. It was like going down from the top. I feel like if I were voting in this and I had no idea what Invincible was, I would have voted Tech Jacket or Brit. Brit because it's funny because haha, British man. But second one, I don't think he's even British, at least not in the show. But but then Tech Jacket I feel like just sounds cooler. You got the week before? Nice. Sunglasses, a new headset, and a bunch of clothes. Cool. Yeah, this reaction is funny though. What? What?
How challenging it can be to find a place where you feel that you truly belong, and to find a job that treats you mostly with respect and only infrequently with contempt.
What is this? What is this?
I'm excited to inform you that you did an adequate enough job the first time around to have you back.
Adequate enough, huh? What the hell? I should say, one thing that was cool about this was, well, not this reaction or anything, just this trailer, was I think I made a video on, like, my predictions for Help Wanted 2. And much of my predictions were, like, what minigames would be in it. Because we saw some in, like, the, what's it called? Like, PAX West. Like, people played some of the minigames, right? And I predicted that, like, we already knew we had the Carousel, Funtime Freddy, Breaker Room, and what was the third one? Bonkabon. And since we knew that Bonkabon was a minigame, I looked to this trailer. Because here, we have a Bonkabon poster down here. I think that's the only poster over there, unless my face cam's blocking it. But also, there's this baby poster, and this Conduit Task from Ruin. So my prediction was that we'd have some minigame, like, related to Ruin and, like, the Conduit Task, and a minigame relating to Circus Baby and Ice Cream. There wasn't technically a minigame based on the Conduit Task, but there technically was. There was a Conduit Task, and then there was a minigame behind it. And the Baby minigame, there was a minigame with Baby and her ice cream. That was, like, a big... that was one of the biggest minigames. That was the last one I did, actually, besides Princess Quest. So, like, I actually got that. I was actually pretty accurate with my prediction. people were saying this was going to be Sister Location 2. I never knew why. Like, I was like, oh, it's Help Wanted 2. Okay, so it'll be a bunch of minigames. Like, what else would it be? If it's going to be something different, it wouldn't be called Help Wanted. That's what I think. That's my opinion on that. So if Help Wanted 3 happens and people are like, oh my god, guys, this is a FNaF 3 centered game. Like, sure, if I get the point. Like, there's some Sister Location minigames in it. There's a Sister Location elevator. But it's a minigame game. It's a game with a bunch of minigames. I think that's very clearly the point. And, like, I get that there's things relating to that game specifically, but there's more than just that. Like, Bonkabon has nothing to do with Sister Location. I think it might be in Circus Babies, but I don't think so. I think it's just in the Pizzaplex. Do you guys think Dispatch knows that his voice was used for Dread Unit? You think he's still alive, or do you think they killed him? Also, now knowing that he's a real person, do you think, like, Hand Unit and Tutorial Unit and Dread Unit are all actually, like, the Mimic mimicking his voice? I feel like that would make sense. I mean, there's theories on, like, why the Mimic was used in Sister Location, right? Because Funtime Freddy has a voice Mimic. So, like, the Fun Times could easily use the Mimic program. And if you, like, use that for the for Hand Unit, that would make sense. I don't know, maybe that's what John will talk about. I guess we'll see. Dispatch is probably dead. Probably, yeah. From age or Fazbear being Fazbear. He seemed very much like he was with Fazbear. Like, he was like, excellent, I'm glad you're feeling like shit right now, man. So I feel like he definitely would have, like, been... He would have been complicit. That's for sure. Also, what I find weird... What the hell?
There were no other applicants.
Anyone else noticing this is an elevator crashing, and at the end of Ruin, an elevator crashes? And Sister Location may be near the Ruin location? Kind of just thought about that. I didn't even think about that before, but that makes a lot of sense.
So strap
I don't know.
yourself in and get motivated to an appropriate degree.
What is this?
Because you ain't seen nothing.
I had no clue.
Oh god. I can't wait to see Doggo's reaction already.
That was an accurate thing for me to say. I think Doggo had a pretty, like, wild reaction. I don't remember, though. He has a wild reaction to everything. But, Abyss, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like there's probably a connection there. But, like, I mean, I think that could be what happens. Like, Cassie goes into the elevator. It actually ends up being one of the Sister Location elevators. And then she walks out of the elevator and she ends up in Sister Location. It makes sense. But I think that, not like a theory thing, but I think that when I saw this, well, I know this because I remember what I said, but here I was like, I saw Help Wanted here, and I was confused. I thought that it would be like a DLC or something. Everybody else and their mother was like, Help Wanted, Help Wanted 2? Meanwhile, I was like, Help Wanted, what's the DLC's name? And then I just saw a 2. That's not what I was expecting. I was not expecting a 2. I was expecting a DLC thing. I don't know why. The most I love about people's reaction to Help Wanted 2 trailers, the ending where it says late 2023. How did I react to that?
What?
I'm yelling in my ear.
What?
Yeah, I didn't expect that. Not even a little bit. What? Hold on. What was? I do want to watch Dako's reaction. Trailer reaction. Okay, shut up. I could just see. What I love about Dog's reactions, he looks completely, like, stoic here, and then you go, like, right here. He's just yelling. Okay, let's watch this.
That's cool.
Welcome back for another week of fulfillment and minimal social interaction.
What? This is the
We know
location!
how challenging it can be to find a place
Oh
where
my
you feel
God!
that you truly belong, and to find a job that treats you mostly
Oh my god, is this location? Is this VR?
frequently with contempt.
This is VR!
I completely forgot, when I was watching this, I completely forgot that this was,
First time around to have you back.
that this was in the
Can't be
VR
remake.
section.
It's gotta be VR, it's VR, the movement! I'm gonna find... Oh, look.
I completely forgot that this was in the VR section of the stream, too. I think it was a showcase.
And get motivated to an appropriate degree.
Is it VR?
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Hand? I don't know! Find us a freeze! Oh. Help 122! Help 122! Help 122! Oh my god! What?
Wait, hold up.
No! Valora! The what? 2020!
I think he was excited. I could be wrong. Probably not, actually. Just looking at his face there.
No! Valora! The what? 2023! Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Was he streaming this, or was he just watching it? Like, was he recording over him watching? At least he didn't overreact. For real, bro. Who else reacted to this? See, now I'm going down a rabbit hole. FNaF? Oh, I know this was supposed to be a FNaF theory stream, but now I'm just dropped into this. I might just do, like, one theory reaction per again. I don't know. We'll see how much time I have after this. FNaF help wanted to trailer reaction. FNaF. Let's watch FNaF.
Here we go. What's next?
Welcome back for another week of career fulfillment and minimal social interaction.
Shut up!
We know how challenging it can be to find a place where you feel that you truly belong, and to find a job that treats you
Johnny Blocks,
mostly
yeah, I'll do
with
that.
respect,
Shut
and
up!
infrequently with contempt. For that reason, we are excited to inform you that you did an adequate enough job the first time around to have you back.
What?
Also, there were no other applicants. So strap yourself in and get motivated to an appropriate degree. Because you ain't seen nothing yet.
What? Oh my god! No! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! What? What? Oh my god! What?
Thing is about me that I'm one of those things that I'm one of those people that watches these kinds of streams like the PlayStation showcases for multiple things. One of those things that watches it for more than one game. Wow. But obviously FNaF is not the only thing I like. I was watching because obviously I was hoping for FNaF, but I was also hoping maybe we'll get like Wolverine, Spider-Man, maybe even Resident Evil. I think this was around the time when I started getting into Resident Evil, but not really. I just played Resident Evil 4 so far, so by then probably not Resident Evil, but I think that when I was like when I was watching, I was hoping to see other stuff, especially Spider-Man 2. So I did my reaction, and then I kept watching while I was editing my reaction, and then I kept recording just in case something new popped up, something important popped up. Which is why my reaction was so short, because I was finishing up the whole thing while I was still watching the stream. And then I did a separate video on just like a scripted video on just like FNaF Help Wanted is coming back, something like that. And I did like a video on like maybe predictions, analysis of the trailer, something like that. Or just the fact that I was excited. I don't remember what I did for that video, but I did like a separate video for that. I did not, but like here he did a whole reaction. I just wanted my trailer reaction out as soon as possible because I didn't want to do anything else. I didn't want to do an analysis in it because I was watching the stream. So, yeah. Who else? He said Johnny Blocks. I'll just search reaction, see who pops up. GT Live, there would be nothing. Is Johnny Blocks in this one? Did Ozone do one? Johnny.
Welcome back for another week of career fulfillment. Welcome back for another week of career fulfillment. What? Interaction. We know how challenging it can be to find a place where you feel that you truly belong, and to find a job that treats you mostly with respect.
What is this?
Frequently with contempt.
Sister location!
We are excited to inform you that you did an adequate enough job this time around to have you back.
What is this? Like a sequel to Sister Location?
No.
Also,
No.
there were no other applicants. So strap yourself in and get motivated to an appropriate degree.
What is this? Who's making this?
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Five Nights at Freddy's! Help Wanted 2? No shot! Help Wanted 2! Help Wanted 2! It's Sister Location levels! It's coming this year!
Welcome back for another...
Johnny's reaction feels very like... Okay, Daco is always like very outrageous with his reactions. It's funny. It's not a bad thing. I love his reactions. But like he's very outrageous with it. Oh, hey, it's me. But like I think Johnny's reaction, it felt the most natural, if that makes sense. I will watch that reaction mashup later, but I want to see if I can find anybody else that I know. Bijou Mike. Fusion doesn't have a face cam, so I don't care. There's me again. What's this one? I'm just gonna open this in a new tab.
What is this?
There's me. So it's kind of like a more literal of a
No,
mashup.
it's Five Nights. Oh, Five Nights VR. No, no.
What? How did we get it? What?
What? Wait, FNaF.
What the fuck?
What the fuck? Yo. Hey, yo.
Welcome back for another...
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Oh, hey, FNaF.
For another...
Holy shit!
Sister Location.
What? This is not ruined.
Ozone.
This isn't ruined.
Oh.
I gotta watch Ozone's reaction.
What?
Five Nights at Freddy's! Yes!
Sister Location!
Does Ozone still make videos?
Okay, we're at Circus Baby's Pizza. Circus Baby's Pizza.
There's no way they're making a second one.
Wait, is this Sister Location?
Yo. God.
Este es el Sister Location, ¿no?
What the hell?
What is happening?
What? What is this?
Why are we back in Circus Baby's Pizza?
Oh my god. Dude, this looks so good.
Adequate enough job the first time
Why
around
is this
to have
location
you
here?
I can't believe it. They're spitting out these games. We by ourselves again. Come on.
What is this?
No! Fucking way!
I love Sister Location! Five Nights at Freddy's!
Help Wanted 2! Help Wanted 2! Help Wanted 2! Oh, let's fucking go! Let's go! Oh. Help Wanted 2!
Oh my god!
Two! Five Nights at Freddy's have 1 and 2!
What? What?
He's getting a
I like the cutoff there with my reaction. What? What? And then Balor just pops up and then it cuts.
He's getting a C.
The cutoff is perfect there. What?
He's getting a sequel.
The cutoff is just perfect.
Hey, what the fuck? Oh my gosh.
Like VR? Oh, fuck off. Suck it.
The original Help Wanted is one of the best VR games ever.
2023! Are you kidding me?
What? Late 2020.
He's crying.
Damn, this year?
Yes!
Five Nights at Freddy's, the VR experience. It's a sequel.
Wait, 2023?
What?
No. Show me more.
There's no way. There is no way. Hey, I started and ended the video. I'm so cool. See, whenever I'm featured in a video, I always go to the comments and I was like, has anybody mentioned me? They have not. I don't think. No, I did not. I was not. Let's go back. I need to find Ozone's reaction, and I'm too lazy to search it. There it is. Is this copyrighted? I should mute it just in case. Stranger Things needs to copyright it. I have no idea. Shut the fuck up. He does not give a fuck about Dragon's Dogma.
Welcome back for another week of career
What?
fulfillment and minimal social interaction. We know how challenging it can be to find a place
What?
where you feel
This
that
is
you
not ruined.
truly belong.
This
And
isn't
find
ruined.
a job that treats you mostly with respect and only infrequently with contempt.
What?
For that reason,
What?
that you did an adequate enough job the first time around to have you back.
Help 1 to 2. Sister location VR.
Also, there were no other applicants. So strap yourself in and get motivated to an appropriate degree. Because you ain't seen nothing yet.
Oh my god!
He left.
Holy. What? What? Late 2020. Oh my god. Oh my god.
I go. He just saw the.
Oh.
He didn't even see the Help Wanted words. He just saw the logo for Help Wanted, the outline, and walked away.
What? Huh? What?
Teaser
Late
trailer.
2023.
I cried. We can see that. God, I love Ozone. Ozone is a very fun guy. I haven't seen him. I haven't talked to him in a while, but I'll never forget those diss tracks. That was fun. He was very. He's a comedic genius for some reason. I don't know why, but he's very funny. I'll never forget those times on Daybreak, when he was like holding me hostage and stuff. And then he was like, "Why won't leads work on people?"
Are you freaking?
That's funny. But yeah, Ozone's the best. I miss him. Has he made any videos? When was the last time he made a video? Like, I feel like I haven't seen him do anything in a while. Oh, he's done some kind of recently. He does Gravity Falls now more so though, and Hollow Knight. He hasn't done a FNaF video in a long time. I think this was his last FNaF video 6 months ago. Not that long ago, I guess, but he doesn't really prioritize that anymore, which is fair. And he gets pretty good views on the other stuff, so. holding me hostage in your basement? Yeah. Mini Byte Games is doing a FNaF marathon as well. I'm not the only one. I think that's Hub 1 and 2. Was Hub 1 and 2 the best FNaF reveal in your opinion? Well, it was the only real FNaF reveal, if you think about it. I mean, like, on a stream. Like, on a... I mean, like, just releasing a trailer, you see in the title what the game is, right? Like, with Secret of the Mimic, every old FNaF game, you see in the trailer what it is called. So you kind of already expect it. When you're watching a live stream with a bunch of different games, and you're in the VR section of that stream, and all of a sudden a FNaF sister location elevator pops up, you're not going to instantly be like, oh, okay, FNaF. You're going to be like, what? Where did this come from? What is this? What am I watching now? What is going to happen? That's going to be your reaction. You're not just going to, like, you don't expect it, right? Unless you're watching it after the fact. So, technically, theoretically speaking, Help Wanted 2 is really the only reveal. With Security Breach and Ruin, we got the teasers for them already, right? And Secret of the Mimic, we got its own teaser on the the anniversary week. So it's just like, I feel like there's not really anything else you can compare Help Wanted 2 to. Everything else, you know what it is immediately. Like, we get a Security Breach trailer, and I mean, the first Security Breach trailer was kind of a reveal, but like, we knew what Security Breach was. It wasn't like a reveal of a game. That was the reveal of the game happening at all. Like, we didn't know we were getting a Help Wanted 2 until we saw that trailer. So, I feel like you can't really compare it much to anything else. Can't wait for Abyss on October 2026. Well, says who? Be for real. Who says who? Says who? How long did Secret of the Mimic take to make? I know Security Breach took years. I think the Help Wanted only took like a few months each, right? I could be wrong, but I think so. And so what I'm wondering is, will they make a Help Wanted 3, which I will talk about in a future video, or will they skip directly to Abyss? They might just skip directly to Abyss, which would make sense because Ruin takes place after Help Wanted 2, meaning that, and Secret of the Mimic takes place way before. So if we get like, we will have gotten no new information since, like, we would have, if we get Help Wanted 3 next, we have no information about what happens after Ruin unless it takes place after Ruin. And unless it actually has a big, like, bearing on the plot, right? Like, it's hard to say. I don't know if we'll get a Help Wanted 3. I don't know whether we should get a Help Wanted 3. But I don't know whether that, if we do get one, I don't know whether that will be the next project or the project after that. What are our predictions for Abyss? I think it'll probably be that we're going to continue under the Pizzaplex as Cassie or as somebody trying to find Cassie. We're going to end up in sister location, I think. And then I think we're going to make our way back up. And I think we're going to stop the Mimic, or the Blob, once and for all. I don't know exactly how it's all going to go down, but I made a whole video on like what I think will happen and why I think that, what game or what like theories I think support what could happen. And I'm really proud of that. That's one of my favorite videos that I've actually ever made. Some of my favorite videos that I've made, like theories, my Shadow Victim one I like a lot. My Old Man Consequences one recently, and that one. Those three are probably some of my favorite theories that I've ever made. I also really like my Fredbear's theory from, I think it was August 2023. It's not really accurate anymore, especially because Tails isn't in the games anymore, but like I think it was a good theory for the time. I think it was a very good theory. I think we should bring Shadow Freddy as an antagonist. I mean, I think Shadow Freddy is the Blob, so I think we have already. Do you consider Ruin as its own game, like a FNaF 10? No, I don't. I think of Help Wanted 2 as FNaF 10, and Ruin as FNaF 11. Or, sorry, not Ruin. Secret of the Mimic is FNaF 11. So Abyss, theoretically, unless it's a DLC, it might just be another Security Breach DLC. It might be a Secret of the Mimic DLC, or it could be its own game. If it's its own game, then I would consider that like a Help Wanted, or sorry, FNaF 12. Don't we know that the next game has been worked on since the second Q&A with Daco? I don't remember. Help Wanted 2 is FNaF 10. Yeah, I consider Help Wanted 2 FNaF 10 because I consider Help Wanted 1 FNaF 8. Ultimate Custom Night is undeniably FNaF 7. And then Security Breach is FNaF 9. So unless you consider FNaF AR FNaF 8, something else has to fill that void. Unless you consider Freddy in Space 2 FNaF 8. But... the theory you dislike but see as likely possible or very possible? Well, I believe Michael Afton is Fritz Smith, and I don't think he's Jeremy Fitzgerald. But I think he could be Jeremy Fitzgerald because he has his paycheck and Ticket to Fun. I am fine with him being either. I think it makes more sense for him to be Fritz. But I don't really like the idea that he could be both of them. But I do think it's possible. There's probably more than that, but that's just like one that I thought of off the top of my head because I was scrolling through my own videos to see if there was anything that I made that I don't like. And I just came across my Ticket to Fun video. I also will say, we know Tails Games is not true, but I don't like that. I do wish it was, just because I think the biggest problem with Tails Games not being true is that there was a lot of evidence that it was, because everything almost completely lined up. For the most part, right? So, with the knowledge that something that adds up might just not be in the games, we can never really get another piece of media outside of games that can be in the game's timeline. Like, we can get that, but there will still be people that don't believe it. Like, there's probably a lot of people that... even Sandwich Man, my friend, he doesn't believe that the week before is... I mean, I don't know if he believes it's in the game timeline, but he doesn't believe it's reliable as a book, like, for lore. I think he said, like, the author said that they tried to match the lore rather than, like, just... Like they tried themselves to match the lore. But, like, I feel like that's probably not, like... I feel like that's probably not the case. Like, I feel like, if anything, she probably, like, tried to match the lore based on Scott's vision. But yeah, he doesn't trust it. And so, like, there's a lot of people that could easily just say, oh, yeah, the week before is not canon, not in the games. Which is weird. Because it just doesn't make sense, because it's literally called The Week Before, and it's said that it's a week before FNaF 1. Like, you really can't get clearer than that. But because Tails wasn't in the games, there's not going to be people, there's going to be so many people that say, oh, well, like because it lines up, that creates precedent. That's precedent that even though something matches the games, it might still not be in the games. That's my problem with Tales games. Or with Tales games not being true. That doesn't mean it's not. I'm not like coping. I know that it's not in the games. That's fine. I just don't like the precedent it sets. In terms of the lore, it's fine because I think that the timeline didn't really make sense, and I was struggling to figure out how to make it work. I was literally in the middle of trying to make it work when Secret of the Amendment came out, and I was like, oh. it was like a weight off my. I didn't mean to moan into the mic, my bad. But it was like a weight off my shoulders. I was like, okay, this is gonna cause so many problems, but at least I don't have to try to make it fit anymore. But now I think, but and that's a good thing. It's good that it doesn't fuck with the lore anymore. It's just I just don't like the precedent it sets. Do you think the Enter the Pit game is canon to the game's timeline? Yes. 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 The Week Before has a version in the game, but because it's a your choice, it's a choose your own adventure book. I think the way it's presented. I'm gonna ignore what Freb just said, and I will just say, The Week Before is clearly in the games, but obviously not every like different option can be in the games, unless Phone Guy's in a time loop, but which he might be. You never know. That's actually like an idea that I've played around with a little bit, but I haven't really gotten into researching that. I might do that at some point. It seems like a really weird idea, but I don't know. It's a thought that's crossed my mind. But realistically, there is one canon path in The Week Before. So the book is in the games. Everything that happens in it is canon and can be used for evidence, but not everything is exactly what actually does happen. So, like, there's a path that is canon, which is the one where he has the phone and he calls, and he dies, right, on the phone. That's the canon path. But, it's also canon that Bronwyn Light is dead, that she existed and she broke into Freddy's and she died. That is canon. She exists, only in the canon path, Ralph never finds her. He never learns about her. That's basically all it is. So everything that happens in the book happens. It's just like not all of the paths are accurate. Like the background information, what happens in the backgrounds of the knights, that does happen, like Bronwyn, but and like the Bite of 87 lore, that stuff is accurate, but it's not all. It didn't all happen, if that makes sense. Like, Phone Guy never found out what happened to Bronwyn. And he never had Golden Freddy at his, like, holding onto his head like this and killing him. That didn't happen. Exactly, yeah. Some FNaF 6 lines are only said if Mike gets caught and dies, which canonically doesn't happen, but we can still infer lore from them. Exactly. It's like, it's same with the security breach endings. People like to say that they're not canon at all because they're just Gregory's drawings, but they're also still possible endings for what could have happened in the game. They just didn't. They could have happened, but they didn't. Meaning that what does happen in them can be used for lore. Like, as much as I believe that Vanessa is Vanny, I think that's very clear at this point. You could still use the fire ending to say, oh yeah, they're not the same. They are, but you can use it to say that they're not. Or you can be right, and you can use it to say, oh yeah, Cassidy hasn't been set free in Princess Quest yet, so... But yeah, it's kind of like that. We should probably react to a theory. I mean, FNaF 1 and the original restaurant are the same building. And they theoretically are the Into the Pit restaurant as well. So. Do you think Lefty's going to appear in the third movie? Probably not. But, like, it's possible. Like, I could see that. I could see it. I mean, the puppet is obviously going to be in it. And I think FNAF 6 is going to be made, like, FNAF 6 is going to happen in it, like, the events of FNAF 6, like I talked about in my video from yesterday. That stuff will happen, I think, for sure. But I don't know if Lefty himself will appear, or if it'll just be the puppet by itself. I can see it going either way. Was it ever confirmed FNAF 1 is the MCI location? Yes, because in FNAF 3, Phone Guy talks about how the safe rooms are being sealed and are not to be reopened. Meaning that there wouldn't be a safe room in the FNAF 2 location because, well, they discontinued them, which is why there isn't one in FNAF 2. And yet, in FNAF 1, there still is a safe room, meaning that they have to be the same building. Plus, it just makes sense. At the end of FNAF 2, they say they'll be using a smaller budget. So, if if the first Freddy's and the FNAF 1 location are the same location, it's a building that Fazbear Entertainment already owns, so it makes sense that that they would be like, okay, yeah, we'll just use that one so we don't have to buy a new building or a new land. Well, what? I don't understand. Into the Biz in the game's continuity can't be because the layout is different. Well, I think in Return to the Pit they explained that Freddy's is actually like I think they explain that Freddy's is it's like combined with another like part of the building was turned into another thing. So it's like the Freddy Fazbear's Pizza turns into two separate buildings in modern day. It's Jeff's Pizza, and this like abandoned arcade or something. Meaning that if you remove the arcade section from it doesn't make sense in the game itself. I think it's just like to be fair, I believe loop theory, so I think things are meant to be different in each one. But, like, I could see it just being, like, some things are just, like, the layout is just, like, it changes in each, like, different version of the story. And that, like, each one is just, like, slightly altered. And if you don't believe in loop theory, then I think that, like, just Return to the Pit is probably the one that's canon, not the game. That's what I would say. I think it is a loop. So I think that all versions of Into the Pit are in the games. Like, every single one. The Fazbear Fright story, even though I don't believe the Stitch line is, I think the Fazbear Fright story is. The graphic novel, even. The... What's it called? What am I thinking? Oh, and the game and Return to the Pit. And each different scenario in Return to the Pit. I don't think the loop makes things different to a location. Well, technically it does. You think it's just an inconsistency? I mean, it can be. But also, just in Return to the Pit, Freddy's is two different locations. But in the Into the Pit game... Jeff's is just the exact same layout as Freddy's. Like, the arcade part is not another building. It's still Jeff's. So... Crying at midnight minus the missing piece. I mean, I'm like kind of in the same. I'm in like a server with Cryonite, so like I know who he is. I haven't seen that video though. I might actually add that to my theories list. Not to do today, but to do eventually. Hello, Ernesto. We have not done what the title says. We have not yet done what the title says, and I'm only going to be streaming for like another hour. So we should probably do something. Oh. Camera for the moment in FNaF 3 movie where Vanessa possessed by Charlie rips out the Elidol of her stomach. Great. How exciting that will be for all the fans. I'm guessing you started with the FNaF video that is made about timeline implications. So, the FNaF 2 one? The movie one? I am watching that one. Wait, how long are these? One's 12 minutes, one's 15 minutes. I could probably watch both.
Eyes up here.
Canada's own Crave is soaring to...
Shut up, Crave. I am Canadian, but shut up. Do you think Edwin exists in the movie universe? I don't care. Unless he appears in the third movie, I don't think it really matters that much. Alright, so let's watch now. Did the FNaF 2 movie solve the FNaF timeline? 12 minutes and 40 seconds. Let's start watching.
The FNaF 2 movie just answered a ton of questions surrounding the FNaF timeline. But what I'm curious about is if those answers can be used to solve the timeline of the games. The FNaF 1 movie made it pretty clear that the movies are in a separate timeline to the games. There's important characters and scenes from the games that are straight up just absent or even changed in the movies. For example, in the first movie, we see the scene where Afton gets spring-locked, with all of the animatronics surrounding him, then dragging him away to the secret safe room. In the games, not only does the scene already take place in the safe room, the physical animatronics aren't even present. Afton disassembles all of the animatronics right before he gets spring-locked, and because of this, only the spirits themselves are surrounding Afton in the games. Like I said, similar things happen in the...
But in the Silver Eyes, this is basically exactly what happens, where the animatronics... where he gets spring-locked and then the animatronics drag him away and lock him up. Obviously, in that case, it's not like... I don't think the animatronics turned on him then. It's just Charlie doing it, and then they drag him away afterwards. But, yeah, it's more similar to the books.
Movies and games, but in completely different ways. So in this video, I'm gonna figure out if there really is anything we can take from the movies to help solve the game's timeline. Make sure to subscribe.
I think there's definitely some stuff.
One of the biggest reveals...
I'm of the opinion that you can definitely take stuff from the movies and use them for the games, but it's not definitive. It's kind of like the Fazbear Frights and Tales books. It's like you can use them as like supplementary evidence if something already has evidence. But if you're just basing something completely off of the movies, then maybe it doesn't work. Like, you can come up with ideas based on the movies and be like, oh, wait, actually that matches up with this thing. Maybe this is true in the games. But, like, you can't really say, oh, the Wizards are different animatronics, so they're different in the games too. That's not the case. Like, we already know based on the FNaF 2 newspaper that they're the same. So
the movie is actually something we learn from the trailers.
You're thinking of the franchise location. This is the original.
The FNAF 2 location with the toy animatronics was the original Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. The FNAF 2 pizzeria is apparently the first and only one of its kind. This pretty much goes against literally everything we thought we knew about the FNAF timeline. The common consensus was always that there was the original Freddy's, then the toy location, and then back to the original Freddy's. So I guess the question is, in the games, can the FNAF 2 pizzeria really be the original Freddy Fazbear's Pizza? Well, the first thing I thought of was the FNAF 2 phone calls, where Phone Guy talks about the withered animatronics coming from a previous location.
By now, I'm sure you've noticed the older models sitting in the back room. Those are from the previous location, and we just use them for parts now.
The newspaper at the end of FNAF 2 also says, quote, "The new animatronics will be scrapped due to possible malfunctions. However, the original characters are being kept in hopes of a possible reorganization of the company." This straight up says that the toys are the new animatronics while the withereds are the original characters from the previous location. All of this heavily implies that there was an original Freddy's before the toy location. There's also the fact that the movie shows the toy location being open in 19...
Yes, I will say, I mean, he's probably going in this direction, but the fact that it says the previous location means that this was the location that was open just before, which has to be the first Freddy's, which is the one that opened in 1985. I've seen many people say that because it is in 1982, maybe it was just franchised in 1983, but the missing children incident location was definitely 83 to 85 most likely, unless it was the original. But then that would, I mean, that can work, and it could just be franchised in 83, because, I mean, it kind of depends when Charlotte dies. Like, you could say that Charlotte dies at Freddy's in 1982. That's definitely a possibility. And then maybe it franchised instead, that location shut down, and then the first franchise location would be, like, the FNAF 1 location. I could see that, maybe, but, like, I don't think it means that it's the FNAF 2 location specifically, but I have seen people say that FNAF 2 is a location that was previously used, because it's mentioned to be a vintage pizzeria. Like, the building itself seems to be a vintage pizzeria, but also Phone Guy says, like, the original restaurant owner was the owner of Fredbear's Family Diner, seeming to imply that that location is Fredbear's. I've seen a lot of people say that, but I'm not, like, fully sold on that. I just got to look deeper into that, but I can definitely see that being the case.
1982. And we know because of this coin from the games that Freddy's doesn't open until 1983. All of this felt like the nail in the coffin. There is no way that the FNAF 2 location is the original Freddy Fazbear's Pizza in the games.
I know he's about to say something else. But yeah, I think that it's very possible that Freddy's was open before 1983, and then it just ended up being franchised in ended up being franchised in 1983. I could see that, because it, in Secret of the Mimic, well, at least at PAX West, I think there was a sign in the Secret of the Mimic booth that was like, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza coming soon. And that game takes place in 1979, and that being, and 4 years later being soon, feels kind of weird. Unless it just ends up being delayed because of Edwin, but I don't know. It's possible that just means, like, it did open in, like, 79, maybe even 80. Or maybe even before that, depending on when that sign is meant to take place in. So yeah, that's possible. I'm not 100% sure about that, but it can easily just be that it was franchised in 83. I could see that for sure.
Right? Well, after looking back over the first 7 FNAF games, a few things stuck out to me, especially in FNAF 4. In the minigames of FNAF 4, we get to see a week in the life of the crying child. And because of the commercial playing on the TV in the living room, we know that these minigames take place in 1983. During the crying child's walk back home, we pass by a little girl playing with toy versions of the toy animatronics. We also see a toy...
Well, technically we don't know that they're the toy animatronics, they're just toys of the animatronics. They could easily just be toys of, like, regular Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica. I will give them the mangled one, though. That one's definitely important.
Version of Mangle in the Afton House in 1983. Why would there be toy versions of the toy animatronics all the way back in 1983?
Well, one thing that's weird about that is that if you think about like this theory being implied in FNaF 2, it's weird that it would say that the toys are the new animatronics if they existed in 1983. It seems to me that the toys either already existed, like as characters but not as animatronics, or that maybe those are just toys of the original animatronics, and then that's a toy of like Funtime Foxy if he existed at that time. Like, because Toy Foxy doesn't exist, Mangle is actually named Funtime Foxy, yet is paired along with the toy animatronics. It feels weird that they have two different names, right? So it could easily be that Funtime Foxy, the one that becomes Mangle, could have been an animatronic that was older, right? I could definitely see that. And then the toys are just the originals, and then that toy is just Funtime Foxy. That is like broken for some reason. I don't know why. Or maybe Funtime Foxy already became Mangle long before FNaF 2. Who knows?
Maybe it's because the toys existed before 1983. In the movie universe, we know that the toys existed in 1982, and because of this, one of the other big reveals is that all of the toy animatronics are actually Springlock suits.
Yeah.
So is there any proof that the toys in the games are also Springlock suits? Well, the way that Scott has portrayed Springlock suits has actually been pretty consistent throughout the years. In the most recent FNaF game, we learned that Springlock suits feature 3 prongs on the front of the torso that can fold in and out. And this is actually identical to what we see in the first movie. In the FNaF 1 movie, we see those same 3 prongs on the torso of the endoskeleton that can fold in and out. These are 2 fairly recent examples of what Springlock suits look like. But even if you look back at the original design of Springtrap, you'll find something pretty similar. We actually never get to see Springtrap's endoskeleton in-game, but in one of Scott's FNaF anniversary posts on scottgames.com, he posted a behind-the-scenes look at the design of Springtrap, and specifically his endoskeleton. He even gives us a zoomed-in look at the torso of the endoskeleton, and right there, you can see those 3 prongs.
Yeah.
You can also see rings around the arms and legs, presumably so human arms and legs can fit and operate inside the suit. For comparison, the Endo 01s from the FNaF 1 game do not feature the 3 prongs or the rings around the arms and legs, because the FNaF 1 animatronics are not Springlock suits. So what about the endoskeleton of the toy animatronics? Well, we know that they use Endo 02s, and thankfully Scott gives us a really good look at Endo 02 in-game. And wouldn't you know, the endos for the toy animatronics have those 3 prongs on the torso and the rings around the arms and legs. Are the prongs exactly the same as the rest?
Yeah, I can't tell if that's actually like a spring lock or if that's just a rib cage. I could see it going either way. Also, people have been saying in chat that the animatronics could just, you know, they seem more like the toys because Bonnie's too bright and Toy Chica loses her beak. I would say that the Toy Chica missing her beak doesn't necessarily have to mean that it's actually Toy Chica. And the fact that the Bonnie is too blue, I mean, that could mean something, but honestly, just them being toys makes it seem, like, I feel like it would be fine to just say, oh yeah, they're just toys that are like slightly different in terms of design, and then that ends up being what the toy animatronics are based on. But yeah, I could see it being the toys and them just existing earlier as characters. But as those animatronics, like the toys that we see in FNaF 2, those animatronics, definitely not. The designs, maybe. The animatronics, no.
Of the Springlock endoskeletons? No. But do I think it's close enough, considering Scott probably didn't have much of the story planned when he was making FNaF 2? I think it could go either way. If Scott made a post tomorrow saying that this is a Springlock endoskeleton, it would be somewhat believable. And if he made a post saying the opposite, I think it would also be believable. The combination of the 3 prongs and the rings around the arms and legs is what really gets me. This movie feels like Scott is trying to give us answers to the games, but there's so many little but big things holding me back from accepting those answers as canon. For example, the coin saying that Freddy's opened in 1983. 3. Yes, I think I could come up with a way to explain this away. If you look at the design of Freddy used on the coin, you'll notice that it's the FNaF 1 Freddy, which is the design used for the franchise locations. Since 1983 could be referencing the start of the franchise locations after the original Freddy's with the toy animatronics shut down. There's also the fact that the gameplay for FNaF 2 takes place in 1987, not 1982. But just because the gameplay takes place in 1987 doesn't mean the pizzeria has to be open in 1987.
That's
the
true, actually.
And books have established that security guards are hired to work at Freddy's long after the restaurants shut down.
The thing is, the problem with that is that FNaF 2 takes place in 1987, and the Bite of 87 is in 1987. So the fact that the Bite of 87 is talked about in FNaF 1, and then FNaF 2 is in 1987, seems very clearly like this is trying to set up and explain what the Bite of 87 was, or like where it happened, right? So technically it's possible, but it just feels really weird. There is evidence that like that those calls are pre-recorded. I can see that. And like it could maybe it's talking about the original missing children incident, but that's weird to me because it's not, because I mean, technically we don't have any guarantee that the missing children incident happened at the franchise location. Technically it could be the original. I don't know though. I could see that being the case. It's just like it could be changing what we know or what we think we know, and we could just be wrong. But I don't know. FNaF 2 phone calls are 100% live. I mean, I wouldn't say 100%, but I feel like they probably are, considering we're switched to day shift and then we're replaced. Like, it said on night 6 that the guard will be switched to day shift. And then the very next night, we play as somebody different. Which makes it seem to me like it is live, but it's possible it's not. But
like I said, there is a way to explain all of these problems away, even if it is a little bit convoluted. But the one thing
it is
I keep
convoluted.
going
That's
back
my
to
problem
is
with it,
this
but
newspaper
I can see it.
we see at the beginning of FNaF 2, where it says, "Come be a part of the new face of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza." This heavily implies that there was a previous face of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, along with a previous location. So as far as the FNaF 2 location being the original Freddy's in the games, I think it's possible, but it's highly unlikely. But one big reveal from the movie that I think can work well in the games is that
I can see it being Fredbear's, though.
reason the puppet calms down when hearing the music box is because it was a gift from her father, Henry. I think that works pretty well in the games and is a satisfying answer to
yeah, there's not really any reason it can't be the case.
Speaking of the puppet, the movie also revealed that the only animatronic that's haunted in the FNaF 2 pizzeria is the puppet. The movie makes it very clear that there's only one spirit haunting the pizzeria, and that's Charlie. Because of this, Charlie is actually the one controlling all of the toy and withered animatronics, which means all of the animatronics except the puppet are not haunted. This is something that could translate to the games, but there are a few problems. In FNaF 2, we see the spirit, or at least the suit, of Golden Freddy popping in and out of the office. We also know that there were another set of murders at the FNaF 2 location, commonly referred to as the DCI, the Dead Children Incident. But after FNaF 2, the DCI is literally never brought up in another game again. This makes me think that Scott didn't intend for these to be kids in this minigame. I think they're meant to be adults. We see in both the first and second movie.
Yeah, I've actually been playing around with that idea. The idea that it might not be dead children, it could just be dead people. I don't think that really changes anything. Like, it could easily just be dead people, and then they are, like, they still can possess the toys. But there's no guarantee that they are kids. He's right.
Instances of adults entering the pizzerias and getting killed by the animatronics. In the second movie, we see Michael Afton offering to give the ghost hunters a tour of the restaurant, only for the toy animatronics to kill them. And if you look at Michael's outfit, you can see he's wearing a purple polo shirt and a big gold security badge on his chest, just like the purple guy we see in the FNaF 2 minigame. Maybe this purple guy isn't meant to be William, it's meant to be Michael Afton.
I don't
into the
think so.
pizzeria to their deaths. But here's the problem. We see in the opening scene of the movie that Charlie is desperately trying to tell the adults that a kid was being kidnapped, but they all ignore her. This ends up being the reason Charlie gets killed. And now that she possesses the puppet, her goal is to kill all of the adults that she can, because they failed to help her that day. This might even be why Henry had to create Lefty in FNaF 6 to capture the puppet. He knows that she's out of control and wants revenge against the adults. What happens in the movie actually could line up.
Problem with that is in the security puppet minigame from FNaF 6, it's other kids that that are pushing her out of the pizzeria. So the fact that, like, I understand what he's saying, but it's kids that are pushing her out of the pizzeria, not adults. So there's no reason in the games that she would be getting revenge on adults rather than
pretty
kids.
Well with the games. In Charlie's death minigame, we do see her outside of the pizzeria screaming for help through the window. And because no one helped her, she gets killed by William. The adults at the restaurant failed her in both the movies and the games.
Yeah, but
and
it's
in
the
FNaF 2
but
phone.
I don't think the adults might just not even know that she's there, because the puppet was literally programmed to protect her specifically, because she has the green wristband, right? It's the kids that keep her out, and it's the kids that stop the puppet from helping her. It's not really the adults' fault at all. It's the kids' fault. So Charlie blaming the adults for that doesn't really make sense to me.
Calls, we hear that the animatronics at the pizzeria are fine with kids, but act differently around adults.
But the characters have been acting very unusual, almost aggressive towards the staff. They interact with the kids just fine, but when they encounter an adult, they just stare.
We even get a line from Vanessa in the movie.
But when they encounter an adult, they just stare.
We even get a line from Vanessa in the movie where she says that Charlie doesn't blame Afton for her murder, she blames the adults that failed to help her. Which also lines up with her voice lines from Ultimate Custom Night.
I recognize you, but I'm not afraid of you. Not anymore. I don't hate you, but you need to stay out of my way.
Charlie is only mad at the adults,
Which she also says in the
and
movie.
that's kind of the problem. In the minigame where we see the DCI,
I don't think that makes sense,
you can
honestly.
see the puppet running around the pizzeria with the words "save them" being spoken letter by letter. It seems like the puppet is trying to save the people who got killed, but if these really are supposed to be adults, Charlie wouldn't want to save them. This is the thing. It feels like these pieces are supposed to connect, but there's always one or two things contradicting them. But one other thing that could work in the games is what's in the box. In the movie, we see Vanessa pull a box out of the closet and take various objects out, including Garrett's toy plane. Because Garrett's plane was in the box, I think it's safe to assume that what's in the box is Afton's trophies from his murders. This is a common thing that serial killers do, so that would make sense. This is one of those
which I think is funny, because that's a big plot point in the show You, which Elizabeth Lale is in. So I feel like that's kind of a funny connection there.
Things that has no evidence to back it up in the games, but it kind of doesn't need it. The box isn't super important to the story currently, so whether this is what's in the box in the games or not, it doesn't really affect anything. So until Scott says otherwise, this is probably what's in the box. Next, we gotta talk about Circus Baby. After I saw the movie for the first time, I told you that there was one scene that made me jump out of my chair, and this was it. But
yeah,
one thing that didn't hit me until after I left the theater is that Vanessa in this dream sequence looks to be the same age she was when Charlie died, meaning that we have a fully functioning and built Circus Baby as early as 1982.
Yeah.
And not only that, her eyes are already green. In the games, this would mean that Elizabeth already possesses Baby. But it doesn't seem like Elizabeth exists in the movie universe, at least that we know of. I can only hope.
I could definitely see her existing. And I could see her being possessed. My one problem with that is that, my one problem with that is that the puppet in the games doesn't have tears until Charlotte dies and possesses it. But in the movie, she does. The puppet already has the tears. So I could easily see this just being like, that's the design in the games. So they just kept that design in the movies, even if it's not completely lore accurate to the games at this point in time. That might not be the case. I just don't think it can be used as I don't think it can be really used as evidence right now. So
that
it could change in the future, though. You never know.
We learn more about when Baby was built in the third movie, because figuring out when Circus Baby's Pizza World opened would help a lot with creating a timeline. But if this part of the movie really can be put into the games, then Elizabeth being the first death in the franchise is not out of the question. With this, I think we're gonna have to wait until we get more info.
I'm personally of the belief that Charlotte dies, the bite victim dies, Elizabeth dies, then the missing kids die.
In the third movie. Once again, I am not saying the movie universe is the same as the games. I think what I've learned from researching for this video is that the movie franchise really does take parts of every corner of this franchise and mixes them all together. There are things we can take from this movie and use in the games that are pretty satisfying in my opinion, but a lot of things just don't work, and that's okay. Unless there's something big that I'm missing, and in that case, Scott, if you're watching, feel free to let me know in the comments if you want. Subscribe if you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.
Okay. That theory wasn't bad. Yeah, it wasn't bad. I definitely can agree with him saying, like, we can use it, but it's not definitive. I think that's the biggest thing about it. I do think that they can be used for evidence. I think you can use, but the thing is, this stuff has changed, so you can use it for anything. Like, there's a lot of different ways you can interpret it. Having Charlotte die in 1982, you could use that to say she dies before the missing children incident. You could use that to say she dies before the bite victim dies. You can use that to say she dies in 1982 specifically. You could use that to say that she dies at Freddy's. You could use that to say she dies at Fredbear's, because Fredbear's so far doesn't seem to exist. Or you could even use it to say that she dies in the FNaF 2 location in 1987. Even if that's not the timing here, that's when the FNaF 2 location is open. So you can use it in a lot of different ways. That's, I think, the big thing about the movie. There's a lot of different ideas you can come up with, and a lot of things that happen in the movie that you can interpret in many different ways. So it's not really, pretty much none of it is definitive evidence, but it can definitely be supplementary evidence. But, like, it's just not, again, it's just not definitive. But yeah, I think the theory was pretty good. I don't really have any major problems with it for the most part. I don't agree with Michael being purple guy, but yeah, I don't think it's a bad theory. So yeah, it was pretty good. That was my reaction though. Now we're gonna watch the other one. What's Discord saying? Okay. I'm gonna take one small break, go to the bathroom, and then we'll come back. We'll watch this, and then I'm gonna end the stream. So yeah, be back in a bit. Alright, we're back. Let's go. So, this is The Big Twist of FNAF's Sister Location by FNAF. 15 minutes and 28 seconds. Let's watch. I've heard good I've heard good things about this theory so far, so I'm curious.
What? Oh my god.
I had a much more explosive reaction to that.
Flush baby. What's she doing here? I'm gonna cry. In the last 4 years worth of FNAF games, there's been some subtle or even blatant callback to Sister Location. This is one of the biggest mysteries of modern FNAF because it feels like Scott and Steelwool are desperately trying to tell us something. And it wasn't until now that I think I've figured it out. This year, Sister Location turned 9 years old, and in those 9 years, we've figured out a lot of stuff surrounding the game. But nothing compares to what I'm going to talk about today. There's details and clues that have been right in front of our faces that were completely overlooked for years until now. Let's get started. One thing that's always been weird to me about Sister Location is how sci-fi Scott suddenly took the series. Maybe you'll relate to this, but I've always found it weird how Afton was able to build a giant underground bunker directly beneath his house. How much did this cost? Where did he get the money to build this? And even if he did have the money, logistically, how would someone build something like this? Well, the answer is he didn't build it. It's been widely believed for a while now that William Afton was the businessman of Fazbear Entertainment, who handled all of the money, while his partner Henry was the creative genius, who designed and built the animatronics. This was backed up by the newest game, Secret of the Mimic, where we learned that while Henry was working with Edwin on the animatronics,
I got the change order from Hen last night. It would be so much easier to keep using the spring locks.
Afton was the one working on the business side of things. Throughout the game, we see Afton attempt to steal all of Edwin's employees and bankrupt his entire company. Afton eventually gets what he wants and owns all of Edwin's, quote, software development and the entire MCM catalog. But in this message, we learn that Afton doesn't just take Edwin's company, he takes
his
all
house
of
and stuff,
Edwin's land. Quote, although we now technically own the land, we would never touch the house your parents built. This is important because this house that Edwin's parents built happens to have a bedroom that looks very similar to the FNAF 4 bedroom and a giant underground bunker directly beneath it. The house also sits on a hill, just like the Afton house. When Afton took over Edwin's land, he got access to a house on a hill with a built-in underground bunker directly beneath it. He even stole the toys right out of Edwin's son's room and gave them to his kids. Everything was stolen from Edwin. Need more proof? In Secret of the Mimic, when we first enter Edwin's
I like how that's just become his catchphrase. But yeah, I definitely agree that that Afton stole that house. To be clear, I don't think that is the FNAF 4 house, like the minigame house, but I do think it is the Midnight Motorist house, and I do think it's Afton's house. And I think that Afton used that house and like pieces of it to construct the experiment chambers underneath his house, with rooms such as with the nightmare rooms and the plush trap hallway. I think those are not the original rooms, but based on Edwin's house. And I think that he's definitely right that the underground bunker is Edwin's, that it becomes the Sister Location facility. Obviously, I think some changes happen, but I think that it's definitely built upon that location.
And get on the little ride, you can hear a song start playing in the background. This song is called Breathing Corridors and was created by Leon Riskin, Scott's go-to composer for all of the FNAF soundtracks. The song Breathing Corridors is actually about 3 minutes long, but since this little ride only lasts about a minute, we never actually get to hear the whole song in-game. So one day, while listening to the entire soundtrack, I noticed that Breathing Corridors is literally just a slowed down version of Venta Black from Sister Location.
Really? Is that the Ennard theme, or? Huh. I didn't know
The
that.
songs are in the same exact key, have the same sound.
I feel like
and
my
have-
friends have probably mentioned that in a call before. They probably have. I just don't really know that much about the music. That's why I don't realize those things.
that same 4-note motif. This was just the cherry on top of an already solid theory, but after realizing that Afton very likely stole Edwin's underground bunker and used it to create Sister Location, a lot more connections started to appear. In Secret of the Mimic, we meet Dispatch, who works for Fazbear Entertainment.
Yes.
Hey, buddy. This is Dispatch with Fazbear Entertainment. How are you feeling?
Dispatch is the one guiding us throughout the game, but shortly after we enter MCM, it's revealed that M1 from inside of Mixes takes over and starts mimicking Dispatch's voice.
Awesome. Glad to see you made it here without any complications whatsoever.
This is important because the Mixes machine containing M1 is located underground in Edwin's bunker, the same bunker that Afton would allegedly use to create Sister Location. This means that Afton seemingly would have access to an advanced AI that has the capability of sounding just like Dispatch.
Glad to see you made it here
Yep.
without any complications whatsoever.
I was just talking about that. I was talking about that earlier in the stream, and I was kind of expecting that he would bring this up. That Dispatch is a real person, and the mimic mimics voices. So it just makes sense since the Funtime Freddy specifically can mimic voices. It makes sense that Afton uses the mimic on the not necessarily on all these Sister Location animatronics, but on a bunch of stuff like in this location. Possible that it's even in the Fredbear plushie. I still got to do more research into that. That might work. I'm not sure yet. Considering the Fredbear plushie is also in FNaF World, and FNaF World has a lot of mimic connections too. So that's a theory that I want to make in the future at some point, because I'm very curious about that, and I want to do more research into that. But yeah, I think that Afton definitely uses the mimic technology on a bunch of his creations. And that including hand unit actually makes a lot of sense.
Welcome to the first day of your exciting new career. I will be your personal guide to help you get started.
If you don't know already, Dispatch from Secret of the Mimic and Hand Unit from Sister Location actually share the same voice actor, Andy Field. While this isn't the first time a voice actor has played multiple roles in this franchise, this specific instance feels
it's
more
like the same role, basically.
I think it makes sense that when Afton took over Edwin's underground bunker, he also acquired F10N4, which is an AI that contained the voice of Dispatch. This could have been how Afton got the voice for Hand Unit, but I don't think that's all he got. I think Afton also got his hands on the Mimic program. Let me explain. In Security Breach, it's been basically confirmed that all of the Glamrock animatronics are using the Mimic program. This is heavily talked about in the Tales from the Pizzaplex books, but there's also proof for this in Security Breach itself. There is a whole section of the game where you enter an endoskeleton daycare. In this area, there are certain behaviors depicted on the doors. Good behavior gets a check mark, while bad behavior gets an X. This is where we're training the endoskeletons how to behave properly by showing them which behavior to mimic and which to not. It's an endo daycare because these endos are literally starting from scratch as if they're children and are being raised to be whatever character Fazbear wants them to be. This was
and then we also see that in the Help Wanted 2 level, the Endo Warehouse as well.
confirmed in Help Wanted 2, where we got a whole minigame in the Endo Daycare. In this minigame, we are once again teaching a Glamrock endoskeleton the correct behavior to mimic. But at the beginning of this minigame, we hear a line that stuck out to me for a while now.
Welcome to the Playpen. Here, young animatronic endoskeletons learn how to associate with guests. Motivation chips encourage our youth to one day develop a personality and become the next Freddy, Chica, or TBD Pizzaplex star.
Motivation chips encourage our youth to one day develop a personality. What? When in any of the modern FNaF games have we ever heard of motivation chips? The game literally flat out tells us that these motivation chips are how we're able to teach the animatronics to develop a personality. That sounds exactly like what the Mimic program is supposed to be doing. To me, this one line is telling us that the Mimic program is put into the Glamrock animatronics through a chip. And it's this chip that gives them the ability to be trained and taught to develop certain personalities.
Is he bringing up his chip stuff again? This is the location thing.
Then become the next
Freddy, Chica, or TBD Pizzaplex star.
After discovering this, I then looked back to see if these chips have been mentioned anywhere else. After we learned from Scott that Security Breach's story was all over the place, I thought there would be no way they planned this chip thing from the beginning. until I found this. In Security Breach, you can find a duffel bag message titled Chica Report, where it says, quote, Chica's personality chip
Yeah.
has always been a bit
I remember
quirky,
that.
but the new pizza-flavored Monty Mystery Mix slushy syrup has adverse effects on her programming. She has attacked patrons, employees, and staff for it. It is recommended that Monty Mystery Mix should be recalled before we're inundated with lawsuits. In this message, they straight up just call it a personality chip. Whether it's officially called a personality chip or a motivation chip doesn't really matter. The important thing is that all the way back in Security Breach, there was mention of a singular chip that helps give each animatronic their personality. But
Yeah, I knew
that's
that.
not all. In the modern FNaF games,
I remember actually debating with someone about that because I think I mentioned that and then they were like, there's no way that works. And I'm like, it literally says that it works. Like people were saying like the Glamrocks were possessed because they have personalities. And I was like, they have personality chips. And they were like, no, that doesn't make sense. And I was like, literally says it. And then they're just like, okay, but it doesn't make sense. And I'm like, it says it though.
Mimic has repeatedly taken the form of Helpy. In Security Breach Ruin, the Mimic speaks to Cassie through Helpy and successfully gets her to set it free by the end of the game. In Help 1...
See, I don't actually mind this theory about the whole chip thing, like with comparing it to the Circus Baby one. The problem is, I think that I think he mischaracterizes what the chip is used for, and I think that because the whole thing in Sister Location is that the chip is actually not useful. Like, it doesn't do anything. When you put it into hand unit, Baby is trying to convince you that she's talking through that, when in reality, she's talking through the Ennard animatronic. And Ennard is basically just behind you the whole time. So that it's basically just trying to convince you that, trying to trick you, basically. The chip is not actually a thing that she's talking to you through. She's just lying. That's kind of always been. I felt like that was pretty much universally known, and then he made that theory so long ago, and I was like, what? I thought everybody knew this. So yeah, I don't think that the chip has to be completely useless to the animatronic as a whole, but I think it's useless in the context that it's used in Sister Location. Using it to say that the Mimic exists in, like, the fun times, sure. Using it to say that that is, like, a defining feature that confirms Circus Baby is the Mimic, like he used to say, that I have a problem with. So yeah, I can see this. I can see it being a Mimic thing. I just don't think it has anything to do with, like, what Circus Baby says. I think she's just lying the whole time, and I think that it could have to do with the Mimic being in the fun times, but I think it's very clear that the Mimic is not the endoskeletons from the fun times, basically. That's what I'm saying.
And 2, you can see Helpy on the screen in the main hub area. And throughout the game, he's giving us hints and encouraging us to progress. The thing is, progressing and beating the game normally gives you the bad ending, where Glitchtrap, aka the Mimic Virus, wins. Helpy was purposely guiding us in the wrong direction, just like in Ruin. If you get the bad ending and come back to the main hub, Helpy is now sitting on a beach on vacation because his job is done. The Mimic Virus won. As you probably know, you can get the good ending by going through Princess Quest and killing Glitchtrap once and for all. But if you try going back to the main hub after Glitchtrap is dead, Helpy isn't on vacation this time, he isn't even there anymore. That's because Helpy was once again tied to the Mimic Virus. Now that Glitchtrap was gone, so was Helpy.
Unless you're MatPat and you do the secret ending before the Fastron ending. I don't even know how he did that.
So why does this matter? Well, this all actually ties into the first aid minigame, where we get to see Helpy in person. In a game where they solidify that the Mimic program represents itself as Helpy, while also reintroducing us to the idea of motivation or personality chips that seemingly house the Mimic program, I find it funny that if you open up Helpy's head in the first aid minigame, you can find a chip lodged in his brain. The fact that the chip is lodged in Helpy's brain makes me almost certain that this is our first look at the personality chip we've been hearing about for nearly 4 years now. But if you look closely at the chip, you might notice that we've actually seen this chip before. On night 5 of Sister Location, after punching the correct code into the keypad, a hatch opens on Baby's arm, revealing a little green chip. This chip looks exactly like the chip we find in Helpy's head. The same chip containing the Mimic program that might be being used in the Glamrocks can also be found in Baby. Granted, the chip we find in Helpy's head is a lot bigger than the one we find in Sister Location.
Well, it's like the one in Sister Location is just a piece of the personality chip, basically.
It is painfully obvious that they designed these chips to look similar. I just think that the one in Helpy's head is a newer version of the chip that's being mass-produced for the Glamrocks. These two chips might be the same chip, but just made decades apart from each other. Like we established earlier, Afton is in charge of the business side of things at Fazbear Entertainment. Afton is, at least we think, not a genius engineer like Henry. So if this is actually true, and Afton really did steal the Mimic program from Edwin, that would explain how he was able to create such advanced animatronics. So much so that even the board of Fazbear Entertainment was shocked at what Afton was able to achieve.
There's no doubting what you've achieved on a technical level. These are clearly state-of-the-art.
This might also explain why the Funtime animatronics are able to mimic voices, which we literally see happen in Sister Location.
You must let us inside the room.
You have to let me inside the room.
Either way, I think the modern FNaF games are clearly trying to tell us that the Mimic program is being stored in some kind of chip. So I was curious if in Secret of the Mimic I could find any proof of this being the case. We learn in the Tales books that Edwin created the Mimic program by literally just coding it. We even learn what coding language he used, a combination of Pascal and C. He then uploaded this code to the Mimic's computer. Quote, once Edwin had constructed the robot, he had built the computer for it. This he did by stealing hardware from some of his abandoned projects. So no mention of a singular Mimic chip in the books, but what we learned from Secret of the Mimic is that what happens in the books is different from what happens in the games. In the games, the Mimic program isn't necessarily tied to the Mimic endoskeleton. Edwin was putting the Mimic program into every single one of his inventions as well.
Another smart toy from Murray.
I am always watching and learning.
Our main goal in Secret of the Mimic is to retrieve the Mimic blueprints for Fazbear Entertainment. And towards the end of the game, we actually manage to reach Edwin's office and gain access to the blueprints. But right before we download them onto our data diver, we can see that Edwin called the blueprints the Mimic blueprints, with the obvious reveal being that Mimic is actually an acronym. In true FNaF fashion, Secret of the Mimic gave us the answer to the Mixes acronym from Ruin, Mechanical X-Form Experimental Storage,
but then gave us a new question.
Gave us a new mystery in the Mimic acronym. This is one of those things that feels nearly impossible to figure out, especially because no one would have ever guessed what Mixes ended up standing for. The fact that Mimic is an acronym is interesting because throughout the entire game, Edwin always called the Mimic endoskeleton M1.
I want to introduce you to someone. This is M1.
We never once hear Edwin call it the Mimic endoskeleton. Since these blueprints aren't called the M1 blueprints, what if they're not blueprints for the physical Mimic, but for the Mimic chip? This would mean the C on the end of the acronym could stand for chip. I could also see it starting with something like Murray's and ending with integrated circuit.
Or it could also be mechanical, like it is for Mixes.
Integrated circuits are chips typically designed to store and run programs. So if these blueprints really are for the Mimic chip, how would Afton get his hands on them? Well, for that to happen, the escape ending of the game would have to be the canon one. In this ending, we willingly give the Mimic blueprints to M1 and go home. Afton would then gain access to M1 and the blueprints once he takes over Edwin's bunker. This ending feels like the canon one for a few reasons. First, it is absolutely in character for Arnold to want to finish the job and get out of there as soon as possible.
That's fair,
Second, in the parachute ending, everything including Edwin's house and the bunker get destroyed. If this happened, it would be a lot harder for Afton to move in and build Sister Location. There's also the fact that Afton uses the same toys as Edwin for his kids, and if the whole place burned to the ground, those toys would be destroyed and unable to be reused. There's also the third ending where we defeat the
Fair enough, but he could just make new ones, or they could be mass-produced by Fazbear or another company, and maybe he's just like, I'll get the same ones. But in the movie, he does take the plane from Garrett and give it to Vanessa, so it does make more sense that it would just be he takes them from Edwin.
But that's unlikely to be canon since we know this isn't the end for the Mimic. Little did Arnold know that—
Well, yeah, but it also depends like how the Mimic works there. Like it could just be like that's one version of the Mimic that is disabled, but there's still other versions of the program that are out there, whether attached to the data diver or like in his facility. Like, it could easily just be like that endoskeleton is disabled for now, but it'll come back later on. Kind of like in the Mimic epilogues in Tales. The Mimic gets spring-locked and disabled, but like it still has to work at some point later on in the future, right? So
giving the blueprints to M1 and driving away inadvertently might have given Afton access
unless the
to
endoskeleton dies in the program,
a
it's just used
giant
separately,
underground bunker, and a
which could be the
familiar
case.
AI voice to greet workers who decide to visit.
Welcome to the first day of your exciting new career.
One thing that I want to make clear is that I do not think Scott had the Mimic in mind when making Sister Location. If this chip in Baby's arm really does contain the Mimic virus, that would mean that Scott and Steelwool went back and made that chip more important than it originally was. This is how FNaF always has worked. Scott builds on things.
See, that can very much be the case, but I also think it's entirely possible that Scott just planned to have the Mimic exist, but didn't plan for it to be the main enemy at any point. Like maybe he saw potential for it and he was just like, you know what, I can do that. If like when Help Wanted 2 happened, right? I could see it being like, again, because FNaF World has so many Mimic connections, I could easily see it being like Scott was like, okay, I'll make this device, this endoskeleton or this program or whatever that can mimic things. I keep mixing up names. Afton will use this program for the fun times, maybe for the Fredbear plush. He'll use it there, and then yeah, that's it. It could just be like he has the idea of the Mimic in mind, but not its importance. I could easily see that.
That he puts in his previous games. As always for any theory, I could be completely wrong about all of this, especially the idea that the Mimic blueprints are for the Mimic chip and not the endoskeleton.
Yeah, like that's not
I do
guaranteed,
think, though, that the personality chip
be.
is something we've completely overlooked, and I'm excited to see if that goes anywhere. Either way, subscribe if you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.
All right. That was a pretty good theory. I think the theory mostly makes sense. I do stand by the chip not really meaning anything in Sister Location, whether it has the Mimic or not. I don't think that's what like we're actually plugging into hand unit. But I don't think plugging into hand unit does anything. I think it's just like Ennard is behind us talking to us the whole time. That's what I think. But yeah, I could easily see the chip having the Mimic on it though. Like that can definitely make sense. Overall, I hope you guys have enjoyed this stream, or when I turn it into a video if you've enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like and subscribe if you want to. And yeah, that was my reaction, and I'll see you all later. Bye!